Hellcat.
Hello and welcome back to the channel for another Sega Saturn review. Now I want to apologise right at the start of the video because one thing I'm not really looking forward to do is reviewing all the different sports titles on the Saturn, but unfortunately I said I'm going to review every single PAL game, so I'm going to do exactly that. And we're going to start with the first football game that I'm reviewing, being UEFA Euro 96. Now this obviously came out around the time of the Euros, and it was actually a really big selling game for the Saturn, and it helped sell the consoles, no doubt, because the Euros were held in the UK obviously at that point in time. With this being the licensed game with all 16 teams and official squads, it was the exact kind of game that is going to help shift stuff, because football, if you live in England, football is without a doubt the biggest sport, the biggest thing in the country, so football games would sell by the shed loads back then. So once the game's loaded up, you've actually got some really crisp, sharp menus and text on the screen. I'm not sure if this is a high resolution in the actual game, but the menus are incredibly appealing on this game, as well set out. You've got your friendly options, your tournament options. There's no other options in terms of changing the difficulty and things like that, so you're really having to go straight into it, read the instruction manual for the controls, and then just play and hope for the best. Once you've navigated past your screens and you're on to selecting your team, and you go into team lineup, you will see obviously fully licensed players, but you will quickly notice that players are in absolutely no way their correct position. Looking down the England squad, you see Jamie Redknapp is at left back. Your centre backs, I think, are Stuart Pearson, Gary Neville. I've no idea who planned this out and put the players in this, but you're going to do some rejigging, although it doesn't matter in all fairness, because there are no left backs, right backs. You are just classed as a defender, a midfielder or a forward, and that is it. And to be honest, the players don't have any individual viewable ratings anyway, so it doesn't really make much of a difference. And once you're playing the game, you'll probably realise even further that it absolutely does not matter where your players are lined up, to be honest. Like I said, the menu graphics are appealing, they are crisp, they are sharp, they are what I would say is good. But as far as the graphics and the positives go, that is where they end, because once you hit the in-game's graphics engine, you realise just how crap this game looks. Every single player looks awful. Every single player is white for some bizarre reason. So Les Ferdinand, Paul Ince, they are white as well. It's very generic, it's very plain. The stadiums look rubbish. The pitch looks terrible. The lines around the outside of the pitch and on the pitch look like they are detached from the pitch. They just look stupid. The goals look terrible as well. It is really hard to say anything positive about the in-game graphics engine.
Perfectly found. Dumitrescu, off the keeper.
How does the game play? Well, unfortunately, as bad as it looks, it plays even worse than that. This game is diabolical in terms of gameplay. I've not even tried to find out any reviews, because there's no way anybody could have given this a good review back in the day that it came out. Passing is horrific, it's random. You can point the D-pad in the way you want to pass, and your player will kick it behind him to a player in that direction. I've no idea why. There's no explanation for this in the manual. Sometimes your player, when you press the pass button, will hoof a massive long pass upfield, and it gives you the feeling that you are just not in control of your players whatsoever. It's very simplistic. There's not a lot of depth to the gameplay. Shooting is actually even worse than passing, because your player will just shoot in the direction that he's facing. So if you're running sideways and you press towards the goal and press shoot, he will kick it forward. It will not go in any direction you want it to. Scoring on this game is incredibly hard. There is massive difficulty in scoring in this game. In the games I played reviewing this, the capturing the footage, I didn't score a single goal. You literally have to be running at the goal and shoot in a straight line to have a chance of hitting the target realistically, and the goalkeepers then just save it. Obviously the computer have no such problems. They can sling the ball around like they're Messi and co, and it is just really poor. It puts you off straight away. I mean, it's tough going back to playing an old football game like this that plays crap as well. Best way of playing it actually is to use the top-down camera view like the Sensible Soccer and Kickoff games from years before. That is definitely the best way to play this game. Going for the side-on cameras, it is just not worth it. You're just going to be left feeling pretty disappointed and gutted the way it plays, in all honesty. Now, talking about sounds, commentary is one thing as well I think we can talk about on this, because Barry Davis is actually one of my favourite commentators ever, so I can say that's a positive. Hearing his voice, obviously, I'm not even sure if he's alive anymore, to be perfectly honest, but yeah, having him on commentary is good. The menu musics are all satisfactory as well. I definitely would say, in terms of the game itself, the sounds are probably the highlight. Yeah, that's not saying it's the best in the world, it's just definitely better than the way it looks and plays. Now, this game does have multiplayer, but in all fairness, there's no way back then you'd have got anybody to play a two-player game with you on this, and there is even less of a chance nowadays. This game was awful when it came out, and it's not aged well, and it is even worse now. If you're comparing it with the best football games back then, International Superstar Soccer Deluxe on the SNES absolutely destroys this game in every way. There's just no way that anybody could tell me this game is better than that. Even an old FIFA on the Mega Drive or SNES, I'd much rather play one of those. There really isn't any redeeming features about this terrible, diabolical version of supposedly football. If you want to pick it up, though, it is one of the most common Saturn games around, and also one of the absolute cheapest. I think it was £3 at CEX, so it's not hard to find. You could probably find one in decent condition, to be fair, as well, because no one's going to have actually played it much. So, yeah, if you want to pick it up, just to see for yourself how crap it is, do that. You're not going to miss £3 at the end of the day, but it's a massive thumbs down from me. In terms of football games on the Saturn, you know, I'm pretty much starting with the absolute worst one, and hopefully we can only go up from here. Have you played UEFA Euro 96 England? Do you own it? Please don't tell me it's one of your favourite Saturn games. I find that very hard to believe. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time for another Saturn review. Goodbye for now.
Deschamps!